What is up, guys? Welcome to another video, and today we are here for another Ask Hippo. Seems like these things are like happening every month. It's becoming like a monthly occurrence at this point. To be honest, I might keep it that way. It's kind of nice doing this every month. But yeah, we've got questions from you guys. I asked it on Twitter. If you don't already follow me on Twitter, go ahead and do that. I don't know why you wouldn't already. I say this every time we do an Ask Hippo video. Twitter is the other half of YouTube. I tweet way too much. I think I've got like almost like 36k tweets now. I've been on Twitter for a long time. But anyway, I asked you guys questions. I said make sure to use a hashtag because that's how I organize all the tweets. So I've managed to get it down to a list of 10 questions. That's how much I generally do in these videos. Obviously, it's going to get more and more or less, whatever, depending on video to video. I think in this one, we've got 12 questions from you guys. So without further ado, no more rambling. Let's do this. The next question comes from Matix, and his question is, when can we expect a car vlog? Oof. So if you didn't already know, I did crash my first car. The link to that video will be in the description, but essentially, someone got in my way as I was going in a straight line and didn't say he was getting in my way in a straight line, and I totaled it. It was a Suzuki Swift, a really nice Suzuki Swift at that. But, yeah. I've been in the process for looking for another car like now. I've got a few options on the top of my head. I want to get another Swift, ideally. Initially, I was turned off by the idea because it was just a bit weird. It would be weird sitting in another Suzuki having crashed one. But now, looking back on it, like in a perfect world, if we were to find the perfect Suzuki Swift near me, I would get it without a doubt. Like, I've got a soft spot now for a car. Because it was my first and I kind of want another one. Other options, looking at Volkswagen Ups, Seat Ibizas and all that kind of stuff. Just, you know, your casual first car stuff. But in a perfect world, if I could, I'd want a Suzuki Swift. So, to kind of answer your question, when's the car vlogs coming? Honestly, when I've got interesting stuff to do, I'm not going to just make car vlogs on my first car for the hell of it. When there's things to do and, you know, things to go see, I will. I think I have something planned for some point in this week. So you might see that this week. I'm not sure, to be honest. But yeah, it all depends on what's happening with my life, really. I'm not just going to make car vlogs for the sake of it, nor am I going to customize cars just for the sake of it. But, you know, when something interesting happens and I have a car and I have somewhere to go, it will happen. But anyway, let's move on to the next question. And the next question comes from Harrison. And his question is, do you think something like the Summit will be in the Crew 2? Now, honestly, from what we've seen so far from the Crew 2, I think it just looks like the Summit. I feel like they've made the Summit into its whole, like, new game. If you ask me, I would think that not the exact format of the Summit will be in there, but something very similar. The Summit was one of the most redeeming factors that came out of the Crew 1's life cycle. So I think it would be stupid not to add something like that in, and I hope to God there is, because like I said, the Summit was one of the best things to come out of the Crew. So, fingers crossed, I guess. The next question comes from Hayden. Shout out, he's my boy. Nah, that's fucking gay. The next question comes from Hayden, and his question is, do you have any big projects that you might work on similar to the NFS documentary? I'm assuming he means in the summer. So, if you didn't already know, the NFS documentary, I think it's going to be 2 years old this year. That's mad to think it's already almost 2 years old. I dropped that. It was a big documentary. I've been working on it for like a year. And it did very well for a video which, you know, was completely new, completely fresh. Didn't have, you know, any major, like, advertising besides what I did on the channel, like promo and hype and stuff. It did really well. It's on 60, 70k views now for, like I said, for an original video for a channel that was 500 subs at the time. That's, like, amazingly well. I have dabbled with the idea of doing a Midnight Club or Burnout type series, Midnight Club especially, since that series has kind of ended. But I'm not sure. Maybe after Need for Speed Payback comes out, because next year's going to be quite a dry year. I do kind of want to do a Midnight Club documentary, but it's just finding the time, and especially to get like Midnight Club developers in the actual video itself will be so hard. That's my main issue, really. That's my main issue with Midnight Club, is finding the devs and then getting the devs to sit down and talk to me. You know, with Need for Speed, Drew was relatively easy. I got, is his name Coulter to talk, but I couldn't end up actually using his documentary piece for it. But, you know, that, you get what I mean. It was a lot easier to do that than something like Midnight Club where Rockstar are really caught, like, confined and stuff. But you never know. It's something I do eventually want to do. When it's going to happen, I'm not sure. The next question comes from Sergeant CT920, and his question is, since I'm going to kill you. The next question comes from Sergeant CT920, and his question is, since E3 is over, are you going to be getting any games from that you've seen at E3 in the future? Now, I'm going to blank out the obvious ones like the Crew and Need for Speed and stuff. I'm going to talk about some of the other games which are coming out, and to be honest, E3 was really strong. There's an Uncharted game which is coming out next month, which I definitely want to get. The new COD, I'm definitely going to get because it's boots on the ground COD. You can't go wrong with that. I've enjoyed all the other CODs that were boots on the ground. Didn't really like the ones that were in the air and were like, jumpy, jumpy. Days Gone looked really, really good. What else was there? Spider-Man game looks good. Anthem looks good. There's a lot of games I want to get really from E3. I could go on for a list of them. I might list them now, actually. YOLO Sphinx asks a question too. Pretty depressing question. He asks, where's the lady in your life, SUH? I've got Nina. I guess, does that count? Next question kind of ties into that, really. It's from Veilslide FRTN, and his question is, how many kids you got, Nibber? Nibber jokes are dead, by the way. I just want to let you know that they're actual shit jokes. First off, at the recording of this video, I actually have 12,211 kids. I get it on a lot. Ryan KO2 asks, it's not even really a question, it's more of just a demand. He just says, give me carbon. I'm working on that, let's just put it that way. What the fuck are these retarded questions? You guys need to sort it out! Going back to normality, the next question is from Mohan, and his question is, would you rather own a fast car like a Lambo or Ferrari, or would you rather buy a ar and make it fast? Kind of like that scene from Fast and Furious with the Supra and the Ferrari. Would you rather have the Supra or the Ferrari? Now, I don't like this question for multiple reasons. I want to do both. Obviously, at some point, I want to get an R32, make it relatively fast. I want to, you know, own a Ferrari at some point. Owning a 360 Spider would be one of my favorite, like, I can't explain. That's like one of my favorite supercars. It's up there with the Murcielago. Not quite there, but almost there. In an ideal world, I'd love to own a Ferrari. Like, that would be mad. Like, owning a 458, a 360, you know, owning a Murcielago, owning an Aventador, that would be insane. I don't think you should compare it to owning an R32 and making it as fast as a Ferrari, though, because they come on completely different levels. You know, owning a Ferrari, like, which is already fast, the inside is a luxury. It's tuned by, like, gods of the motor world. There's nothing which can beat that. Now, obviously, your time has been put into the Skyline, and nothing can, you know, buy back your time. You know, money can't buy back your time. But the sense the Ferrari would have, I think, for me, would be just a tenfold. But then you have the emotional attachment to the Skyline in this case. So I'm obviously comparing it a Ferrari 360 to a Skyline. Now, obviously, my R32 Skyline, I'll have a much bigger emotional connection with. But that doesn't mean the Ferrari is shit. Let's be honest, a 360 Spider would absolutely defeat a R32 round track stock. That's just fact. But that doesn't negate each car are special in their own ways. I don't really like it. It's something which a lot of people say, you know, oh, R32 can beat a 458 round a track. But you've got to keep in mind it's tuned, and you couldn't live with a tuned 1,000 horsepower R32. You probably could live with a 458 stock. Very hard question to answer, and I don't really like it, to be honest. They're both good for different reasons, to be honest. I think just to answer it and give a bottom line, I'd own a supercar, because if you were living with a fast modified car, it's gonna break a lot more. There's going to be a lot more issues. The next question comes from Useless Communist. And his question is, would you meet Nina in real life? Now, this is interesting, and I actually handpicked this one for a specific reason. For me, at least, it's a bit 50-50 at the moment. But I may or may not be going to America next year. Which means I may or may not see the whole gang. The whole gang might be meeting up, but this is like a very on the waters thing at the moment. It really depends how YouTube goes over this next year. If everything goes well and I'm doing this full time come like January next year, possible. It's possible, but it honestly depends how this goes, really. It would be sick meeting all those lot like IRL. I've obviously only met Jay, but the amount of time I've spent like just talking to them lot, actually, like, it's weird. I've spent probably days, no, I have spent days talking to them, like days upon days upon days talking to them. But I've never actually seen Nina and all the other lot yet in real life, which is pretty weird. But like, that is, yeah, something that I'll eventually get around to doing. And the final question comes from Miguel, and his question is, do you think you will have a Skyline before Theo gets his R34? I honestly wouldn't doubt it at this point. R34s are like 100 grand, you know. They're not cheap anymore. R32's not exactly cheap either. They're 30, I think. To get a nice one, it's around 30 grand. But that's not 100. Probably. I don't know. Maybe, possibly. Anyway, with that being said, that's the end of Ask Hippo. If you didn't get your question answered in this video, leave it in the comment section down below and I'll make sure to go ahead and answer them, you know, when I'm checking the comments in a few days' time. But that's been it from me today. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to go ahead and hit the like, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. You guys have an awesome, stay safe, and peace.